Hello my loves, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. Hi, helloey, my name is Loey and I am back with you for part 2 of my 100 Glitch in the Matrix TikToks video. If you missed part 1, I realized I had posted a whopping 95 Glitch in the Matrix TikToks across my channel over the years. And to celebrate that, I wanted us to have a massive Glitch in the Matrix marathon, but I know you're saying, Loey, 95 TikToks is not 100 TikToks. Where do the extra 5 TikToks come from? Well, in part 1, I talked about 5 extra Glitch in the Matrix TikToks I'd never chatted about before. And even though it's going to push this over the 100 TikTok limit, I kind of wanted to do the same thing in this video. Mostly because Glitch in the Matrix TikTok is kind of popping off recently. Like, I feel like I have no lack of Glitch in the Matrix videos to show you. This is already like a 2-hour video before I even filmed this intro portion. So thank you so very much for watching. I really appreciate your love and support. And now let's get into the scary TikToks. The first one comes from TikTok user Saint Lucy, who posted a strange phenomena that she caught on camera in the sky. In her video, you can almost see what looks like a blue cloud just barreling through the sky. It looks like there's like a couple of lights on top, and I'm not gonna lie to you, to me, it looks like a spaceship. Completely just looks like a spaceship barreling through the sky, but then in other shots, it just looks like a cloud of smoke. This video went crazy viral overnight. I'm talking like 12 million views at the time of recording this, because it's not really something most people have seen and it doesn't look edited. The comment section was saying that this could be a firmament. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But as far as I can tell, that's just like a word that has been used to describe the sky. Then other people were saying, oh, it was just a rocket hitting the firmament. But maybe I'm a little too stupid for this, but I just can't figure out what that is. It doesn't seem like an actual scientific term. Like, I don't know. What I'm getting at though is that as far as I guess my little human brain can comprehend, and the vast majority of the public, this hasn't really been explained, but I want to open it up to you guys. If you know what this could be like logically outside of our matrix glitching and showing us things in the sky that we're not supposed to see, let me know down below, because I couldn't find a clear and concise answer, and it's so clear. I'm actually surprised with how clear it is and how crazy it looks. We haven't gotten more like angles, I guess, of the same thing, which could speak to, I suppose, the legitimacy or lack thereof of this video, but I wanted to share it with you nonetheless. Next up, this one comes from brookesobasic, and I just have a quick question for you. If I talk to you about the shoewear brand Skechers, how would you spell that? Because for me, I would have spelled it Sketchers, like Skechers. However, apparently there's a new Mandela effect floating around because Skechers doesn't have a T in it. And a lot of people, including me, remember there being one.
There's no T in Skechers.
Wait, what did he just say?
There's no T in Skechers.
I always remember there being a T in Skechers. Skechers, like, it's in there. I was 10 years old. I specifically got this pair of Skechers to wear to Disneyland for comfort. And I remember there being a T. Like, I remember the T. Look, there's videos of people spelling Skechers with the T all over the place. Here's another one, Skechers with the T. Even this one, it has a T in it. I found this old Reddit forum from 8 years ago, and people are just kind of like, what the hell's going on? Because they always remember the T being there. It was always Skechers with the T to me. I can't remember it not having a T in it. Wait, is it not Skechers with the T?
I'm so fascinated by Mandela effects, but it's so interesting whenever a quote-unquote new one comes out, aka people start to notice that the branding of something or just a moment in history is not what they remembered, and then we all have a worldwide belief, or not worldwide, but a large spread belief that it was one way, and yet history and the way something is now proves it never was that. An example of this being, of course, Skechers. There's never been a T in Skechers. And I'm so curious, is this one that you guys have experienced as well? I wasn't really like a big Skechers kid growing up. I was a New Balance girl. I got real wide feet, so I had to be shopping in like the dad shoe section. I think I got my first pair of Skechers for a waitressing job because they had a non-slip pair of sneakers, but I'm curious, is this one that you guys resonate with, or was there just never a T in Skechers? Next up, I don't know what you can call this. It's certainly a glitch. You have to see it for yourself. Okay, if you guys are on TikTok, have you been seeing the videos recently of people who say that they were just filming an innocent, mindless video, a clip of their everyday life, or in some cases a special occasion, when suddenly they hear a sound that they never added to the video, and what's weirder is it's an Arby's ad?
With her baddie friend.
Arby's
With her
brown
bad.
sugar bacon.
What?
So I saw this video first from portapottythotti, amazing username by the way, and I thought it was a joke. I thought it was just like a joke and kind of just laughed at it until I went to the comments section, and it's not a joke. This has been happening to people like all across the platform. I can't play audio from this one due to the copyrighted music that was being played at this wedding, but from Peyton Reese 18, they realized that every single wedding video that they had gotten from this night where they were at a friend's wedding, they listened back and the Arby's commercials in every single one of them over like ABBA. Here's another example of this happening from mackthatassup.
Arby's brown sugar bacon. Brown sugar bacon. You always know just what to say. Arby's, we have the
It won't stop. Person, I don't know what's...
Arby's brown sugar bacon.
And yet another one from domdemeo.
Let me say something.
Arby's brown sugar bacon. You always know just what to say. Arby's, we have...
The weird thing about this is I don't have an explanation for you. I have looked far and wide, like, was this a publicity stunt? Was something going on that like there's some kind of glitch on TikTok and stuff? But I've also seen people Snapchat videos with this. Like, is the internet playing a prank and I'm just falling for it? Did I just fall for a massive internet prank? I don't think so, because when I tell you there are so many people who've had this experience, it just seems like a weird thing to fake. Like for Arby's to give free publicity to Arby's? I don't know. The Arby's glitch is haunting my brain. I don't know why it's in so many people's videos. Everybody is so weirded out about it. Arby's, you have 24 hours to respond. What is going on? Did Arby's hack our phone? Are our FBI agents all just really hungry? I don't know, but I don't know if this is a glitch in the Matrix. I just had to show you, I guess, because it's a glitch of some kind. Technology is so weird, and yet we are so deeply reliant on it for our everyday life. And when it does weird stuff, it's funny and a little spooky, but in this case, mostly funny. Then I want to talk to you guys about the 2005 television hijacking of SpongeBob. Now, a lot of people don't remember this, but in 2005, during Nickelodeon's airing of the episode Gary Takes a Bath, somebody hijacked SpongeBob, and this is what people saw.
You will understand. You will understand.
After this point, there's text on screen reading, "We will be friends once more, undeterred by all we've been through. And regardless of all that separated us, all that I'm longing for is an old friend." Then a haunting message of "See you soon, Jerry. Then we cut to a shot of the exterior of a house, and there's more text, this time addressed to Nicole and Anthony, saying, "I'm sorry. I miss you. I want to hear your funny laugh again. I want to stop hearing your screaming at night when I see you at the edge of my bed," and threaten that someone I know would hurt us. Then you can see two people with shirts with an N and an A kind of materialize out of nowhere and giggle as they walk off screen. And the whole thing ends with a thank you and a weird shot of SpongeBob. And that's it. So this TikTok came from Jack E. Rooney 2011, and I assume that that's the original creator of this, but this is a totally fabricated TV hijacking. I was like, did I just miss SpongeBob being hijacked in 2005? Because I'm familiar with a lot of like TV hijackings like this. Like there's the Max Headroom incident. There's so many others that have been documented throughout history, and I love just hearing about them. I think it's a really interesting and terrifying concept because like when we watch TV in any form, whether it's streaming services or cable or anything, it's so heavily filtered and monitored that to think that somebody could interfere with that and get any message they wanted out to millions, I mean, just uncounted amounts of people is scary. This one, however, was just a medium to get across this analog horror story. I looked through the poster's account. I didn't really find any other videos like this, although I could have totally missed them. So I'm unsure if this was just this poster like reposting this video. I can't find the original source if it's not this poster's. So I have no idea. If you have any leads on this one, let me know. It's kind of interesting because while no, it's not a real hijacking, there are a lot of these on YouTube, like a lot of analog horror videos, specifically revolving around the idea that the SpongeBob TV show got hijacked. So I thought this was interesting. I initially downloaded it thinking it was a glitch in the Matrix, like a Mandela effect. I'd never heard of this. But it turned out to just be a really cool piece of analog horror that I wanted to share with all of you. All of that to say, now we are going to get into the rest of the TikToks I have to share with you today. Please grab yourself a drink, get yourself a snack. Thank you so much for watching these. I hope you enjoy. And now let's get into the scary TikToks. If you're unfamiliar with the general like concept of a glitch in the Matrix, basically it's the idea or theory, I guess, that we live in a simulation of some sort, as if there is some gigantic overlord somewhere playing The Sims with us, and occasionally our reality will glitch out a little bit. And I don't think there's a video that exemplifies that effect any better than the first TikTok I have to show you today. This is a series of videos from Alanna Jo over on TikTok, and I have condensed this down from like a 31-part, I'm not joking, TikTok playlist into just 4 TikToks I'm going to show you today, and the best explanation and breakdown I can give you. Alanna Jo says that this glitch in the Matrix is like 30-something years in the making, and it all started with a boy named Steve.
I start preschool when I'm 3 years old. I go to preschool, there's this boy in my class named Steve. We're in the same class in kindergarten, 1st and 2nd grade, but something happens in 2nd grade, okay? In 2nd grade, my family moved from New York to Michigan. We moved away. I was a new kid in 2nd grade. I start my new class. A couple months later in my new 2nd grade class in a new state, my teacher says, "Hey kids, we're getting a new kid." Steve comes walking in. I'm like, weird, Steve. Did your family move here too? He's like, yep, sure did. Weird. So in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th grade, we're in the same class. In 5th grade, my parents switched houses in the same town that we lived in, but it was a big city, so we had to switch schools again. Thanks for that, Mom and Dad. So I'm a new kid, right, in 5th grade, starting on the first day, and my teacher's like, "Hey, there's another kid who also went to your old school. He's in the other class. Guess who it is? It's Steve."
Alanna Jo spent a lot of her young life kind of moving all over the place, different schools, different states, different cities. And somehow, no matter where she went, another child the same age as her followed her everywhere.
We moved back to New York, to a different town than we originally lived in. So it's like November, I moved there. In May of that year, our teacher's like, "Hey, we have a new kid shadowing. He's also from Michigan, where you just came from. Guess who it is? It's freaking Steve. It's Steve again." We go off to college. In 2004, I'm studying abroad my junior year in Madrid. It was 2004, so the Yankees and the Red Sox World Series thing was happening. There was a sports bar in Madrid that aired all of the games for Americans. I had my bucket of Corona in front of me because, of course, Americans. And in walks Steve to this bar. Steve came into this bar to also watch the Yankees and the Red Sox. He wasn't studying abroad in Madrid. He was studying abroad in London, right? Weird. He ended up at the same bar. In December of that same year, my friends and I who were studying in Madrid decided to go to Prague to see it. To see Prague at Christmas time. We're supposed to go on a pub crawl. We missed that pub crawl. We decided to go on our own pub crawl. We end up in a random Irish pub in the middle of Prague. Who's there? Who's there sitting at a table? Steve. Steve's sitting at a table. He also went to Prague at Christmas time, and we happened to be at the same bar at the same time. Now this morning I'm in the copy room at work. I have a coworker who's talking about her fiance. I'm not friends with this girl. I barely know this girl. She mentions, oh, my fiance, Steve. And I go, excuse me, what's your fiance's last name? I felt like Brad Pitt with the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's his last name? Guess who it is? Guess who it is? It's Steve. It's the same Steve. What does it mean?
Okay. So that's pretty creepy, right? And I watched this video, my jaw was on the floor. I was like, whoa, that is an insane amount of coincidences, all with one guy that you just happen to know from elementary school, and you're still finding each other in your 30s. TikTok goes crazy over this video. I think it was originally posted back in like October. People went nuts. Everyone is like, you're like meant to be together, like you're soulmates, or he's stalking you. Like people were very either this is the universe or there is something very sinister happening here. There was no in between. Alanna makes many follow-ups to this, and I think the most prominent question that kept getting asked was, how does he feel about this? Like, have you guys talked about it? Have either of you acknowledged the fact that you keep running into each other decade after decade after decade? She says that yes, he has acknowledged this. They both have like talked about how weird it is, but she actually posted this video having a conversation with Steve in which he told her about one run-in he had with her that she didn't even know about.
This portion blew my mind. It reads, seeing your original video was pretty entertaining. I've told that story various times and am usually met with a healthy dose of skepticism. Here's an element that either never made it to you or you forgot to add in. Just before the pandemic, I was traveling through New York City and had a layover in JFK, which I spent in the Delta Lounge. While I was in there, I bumped into, there's a name written here, she was a mutual classmate, a friend of mine, and she shared that you had just left for your gate 20 minutes before I arrived. I thought about seeking you out at the gate to add to the list of chance encounters, but decided against it because I trust that had the universe wanted us to meet that day, we would have.
It's like this guy is always around, whether Alanna knows it or not. Alanna goes on to have some more conversations with Steve, and she records them just talking about this weird experience they've had through life. And I didn't dive too much into those. I thought that the story was really weird in itself, and I had other Glitch in the Matrix TikToks to show you. If you want to hear Alanna's entire story, I as always have her TikTok listed down below, so you can go and check her out. But while I'm not going to recap her entire story, I do think there's this one really interesting, I guess, like bullet point in this that also feels like a glitch in the Matrix to me. Alanna says she's had weird experiences with birds her entire life, specifically blue jays. Now, I'm not gonna like show any photos or anything here, but just a quick warning that she will talk about birds unaliving and, you know, just generally doing like crazy stuff. But I'm not going to show any of the photos. It doesn't get too graphic. But I just want you to hear this and then see the last video I want to show you from Alanna.
Okay, so while we're on the topic of weird stuff that happens in my life and strange coincidences, I've got something else for you. So I've always had something weird with birds in my life. Not always bad, not always good. Now I started noticing this bird thing when the first week I got my license, when I was driving down the road pretty inconspicuously, like the week I got my license, and all of a sudden I heard a thud on the front of my car, and I was like, that's strange. I looked in the road behind me, there was nothing there. I didn't know what had happened. I thought maybe I kicked up a rock. When I arrived at my destination, I saw, no, it wasn't a rock. In fact, it was a giant blue jay, stuck, spread-winged, in the grill of my car, okay? Just splayed right in there, neck broken in the grill of my car. That's also not the only time a blue jay has splayed into the front of my grill of my car. That's happened on 2 separate occasions. 2 times I've arrived at my destination with a blue jay just splat on the front of the grill of my car. Now, typically when you drive through a flock of birds that are in the middle of the road, maybe feeding on something on the ground or just some starlings in the way, they fly, they go away, nothing happens, right? Not me. I'll drive through those and I'll get ping pong balled by these birds. I don't know if I'm invisible to birds. I don't know if I have some sort of force field that makes them just be like, "Whoa." I don't understand. Now, it's not always sinister. My grandfather passed away about 10 years ago, and I spent my whole childhood watching Saturday morning cartoons with him. I remember remarking, "Papa, I didn't know that woodpeckers were real. I thought they were a mythical creature, much like a unicorn." Now, my grandfather passed away. The following week after his death, guess what was on my tree? A giant, massive woodpecker that I had never seen before in my life, that my grandfather insisted existed, but I never believed. But there he was, the week after my grandfather died, giant woodpecker on my tree. Now, my father died 2 years ago today, and I spent my whole life with him, remarking on how I had never seen a bald eagle. It was kind of a thing. We'd always look for bald eagles. I had never seen one. My father passed away, and look what was in the front of my house. It's blurry because it's zoomed in, but that was a bald eagle, the first and only one I have ever seen in real life.
Blue jays are a weirdly specific sign, I guess, in Alanna's life. Like, she's constantly having these weird experiences with blue jays. Well, around the time that she's making these Steve Talk videos, a man comes into her workplace. She has worked at the same coffee shop for like the last 24 years. And this man comes in and tells her that he actually has something for her.
A gentleman just came in before this last person and was looking at me, and he was like, "How do I know you? How do I know you? You look so familiar." And I was like, "It's probably from here. Maybe I was your kid's teacher." We tried to make the connection. Nobody connected. So we deduced that it was probably from the store. Okay. So he starts telling me how he has been collecting gifts for our Christmas celebration in town. People wonder why I like Gilmore Girls. It's because I literally live in Stars Hollow. Like, I do. So we have this big Christmas extravaganza that starts the weekend after Thanksgiving. Part of it is like a story time or whatever, and they give children gifts when they come to the story time. So he's looking at me and he's like, "I feel like I need to give you one of these." So he comes back in and he gives me this little like tissue papery package and was like, "Here, this one just had your name on it, and I just hope you have a good day." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." So I go in the back room and I open it. It's a stuffed blue jay, guys. Now, if you've been following my Steve story, you know that blue jays have been like offing themselves in my presence for many years. Like in the grill of my car, my cat left me one when I was dying of the flu. And so he gives me a stuffed blue jay, and it felt like there was something inside of it. And I'm like, "Oh my God, this thing's bugged. What is going on?" Nope, it just makes a blue jay sound.
Yep, it's a blue jay. It's a stuffed blue jay. Now, is there a world where this man just watched her TikToks and was like, "Oh my God, I know that girl. I have a blue jay in my car. Isn't it funny if I give her this gift?" Of course, that's totally possible. But there's so many other weird coincidences in Alanna's life. Like, the Steve thing alone makes me fully believe that she's having a full-blown like glitch in the matrix experience. Like, something is going on. Whoever is running her simulation is being like a wee bit silly about things and maybe messing up her and Steve's timelines, you know? And whether you want to call this a glitch in the matrix or like a spiritual thing, I just don't think that anyone can believe this is just a normal coincidence. That she and this man have found each other from the time that they were children all the way into their adulthood in the strangest of places. I mean, it's so cool, but also terrifying, and I think was a great way to kick off these Glitch in the Matrix videos. The next video comes from brookesobasic. Now, this is one of like the most viral Glitch in the Matrix videos I've ever seen. Brooke is out with her family when they stop in a convenience store to grab some drinks and snacks. She specifically gets 2 water bottles, and I don't think she ever could have known the experience she would have with them.
So what happened was I bought 2 water bottles like this. I have a little basket. I put both of the water bottles in. They were ice cold, like right out of the fridge. I opened it up and I started chugging it. Put the cap back on, set it back into my stroller, wiped my mouth because I had hella water dripping off my chin. And I'm here with like my mom and my kids, my husband, and my daughter comes out and she's like, "You guys didn't pay for my stuff." So everyone starts freaking out, like, you know, she's having like a whole little fit. I go to take another drink. I reach to grab my water and I notice that it's full still. So I grab the other water and I notice that it's full. So I'm thinking maybe the pressure from like the heat and it being open, maybe it kind of like suctioned back up and looked full. So I start trying to twist the caps open. They're both fucking sealed. I'm in absolute disbelief, so I'm thinking maybe my husband bought the same water and he took mine because it was opened already and he was just gonna like share with me. I don't like sharing drinks and I'm hella frustrated with him. So when he came out the store, I was like, give me back my water, fool. Don't be drinking on my water like that. He was like, I don't even have a water. Like, I got a candy bar. I'm like, dude, what the I'm in full-blown panic right now. And I'm like, did anybody see me drink water? Did I actually drink water? And my mom's like, yeah, you were chugging that water. Everybody saw me drinking the water. My mouth was fucking cold. I wiped the water from my chin. Like, I know that I opened the water bottle. I just don't understand what happened, how that happened. It was fucking crazy.
This would be a crazy thing to experience because it's so random. I feel like, I don't know, trying to explain to someone that you had a glitch in the Matrix experience because your water resealed itself and like refilled itself somehow. I feel like a lot of people might write that off, but I completely understand why she was this freaked out about it. If she's saying she got the water, took a big old swig, and like her mom saw her do it, and yet the water bottle somehow was magically full again with the cap on, like 2 seconds later, that would freak me out too. Occasionally, items in our reality just glitch out a tiny bit. At least that's what people who experience the item duplication glitch believe. The item duplication glitch is where you know you have one of something. It's something very specific usually, a ring, like a family heirloom, a trinket that you got at a gift store in Florida and you were sure was one of a kind, and then one day you realize you somehow have two of them. These are most of the glitch in the Matrix TikToks that I see on my For You page. This one comes from sushiiluver and they say, I just got home and went to hang up my jacket and saw my jacket hanging there already. I only ever bought one. Another one comes from icedamericanhoe, love the name, who says, tell me why I was cleaning my room and found my ring, but I'm wearing it. Now I have two. I know it has to feel spooky, but I always have it in my head that like maybe they somehow grabbed someone else's hoodie and didn't realize that they had theirs at home. But things like the ring one, like you found two rings in your exact size somehow, it's just eerie. It's really, really creepy to me. Like in what alternate universe is a version of yourself missing your ring? The next TikTok is a little bit long, but I love this creator. She's an amazing storyteller. Her name is funeralbabe and she actually talks a lot about the funeral industry. I really like her content actually. I feel like she doesn't really make videos like this very much. It was just a cool crossover for me when she did. Our poster is working on a service for a family who orders 50 custom prayer cards. They're these really beautiful cards that are so custom and so like one of a kind. funeralbabe has to put in a special order to get them in. These are not just something she has laying around, nor are they so generic they would just be laying around anywhere else. Family wants these 50 custom prayer cards. She orders them. She then holds the cremated remains of their loved one along with these prayer cards for the next 2 months until they come and pick them up. And this is where our glitch in the Matrix begins.
Now I held on to those prayer cards and the cremated remains for about 2 months until last week on Friday when the family called because they wanted to pick them up. So they come in, they pick them up. I'm like, oh, when are you having your service? They said they're going to do something on Sunday, which is in 2 days. I was like, oh, that's really nice. Where are you having it? They were like, we haven't decided it yet. Now Monday rolls around. Okay, so that was Friday. Now we're on Monday. And I get a message from a restaurant who had called and they were asking why we mailed them prayer cards. I call them back. I'm like, why do you think I mailed you prayer cards? She was like, because your ad is on them. You know, we put the funeral home ad on the prayer cards. I was like, no, I didn't mail you anything. What is the return address on the envelope? She said there was none. I'm like, well, that's weird. I don't know. I was like, what is the name of the deceased? You know, she says it's Aunt Ida. I was like, well, that's weird. I was like, I gave the family those cards on Friday. Later that day, I get a phone call from the daughter of Aunt Ida. She's like, Melissa, why did you mail the restaurant prayer cards? How did you know we went to that restaurant? I was like, I didn't know you went there. I didn't know anything. She said, yeah, we went there yesterday, which was Sunday. And I said, did you have the prayer cards that I gave you? She said, yeah, 50 of them. She said that she handed some out. She even had a few extra. Well, she goes and she gets them and she calls me. And the prayer cards, the custom prayer cards that I had ordered from a third-party company, They were exactly the same, identical. I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. I'm like, return address? She said no. But the post, you know, like when it goes to the post office, was a zip code that wasn't near either of us. So I was like, or the company I ordered it from, like totally different county. I was like, this is really weird. Only 50 prayer cards were ever ordered. Custom prayer cards were ever ordered. Family picked them up on Friday. They had their celebration on Sunday. They handed some out. They had a few extra. Monday morning rolls around and there is 50 identical prayer cards that show up to the restaurant that they only chose on Saturday night. Me and Ida's daughter have literally exhausted any, even the wildest, craziest reason how this could happen. It's impossible.
The entire time I was watching this video, I was so sure that this was going to make sense. It's a little too perfect, right? Like the family has this service at this restaurant. The restaurant has all these prayer cards. Somebody just left the prayer cards. But no, they were specifically mailed to the restaurant with no return address. That's weird in itself. And Funeral Babe says that there were more than 50 cards. This story is really, really eerie to me, and I think was really a sign from their Aunt Ida that she was still with them. I feel like it was like a little nod from beyond, more than a glitch in the Matrix maybe. But this is coming from a girl with a dead father who has done many a weird paranormal thing since he left. So I feel like I very often look at things like this like, oh, that's a sign. It's, you know, them from beyond. But this was still so weird, and I guess still felt like glitch in the Matrixy enough that I wanted to share it with you. Next up is a crazy viral glitch in the Matrix video that comes from Brianna Antoinette on TikTok. So Brianna has pet chickens and she's calling them over to come get their grub one day when suddenly every single one of her birds stops in place. You might not think that's that weird. They freeze in place where they are. I'm talking some of them still have 1 foot off the ground mid-step for 2 full minutes.
Hello, chickies. Hi, babies.
Oh goodness. Where y'all going? Where are you going?
You ready for some grubs? Let's go. It's grub time.
What the fool? Why are they all not moving? What is happening right now?
Babies? Guys.
I'm not gonna make you watch the full 2 minutes of them just standing there motionless, but take my word for it. They stay like this for a really weirdly long time. A lot of people in the comments were saying how this is like a natural thing, that maybe they sensed a predator or heard a sound that they perceived could be a predator and they froze in place because that's what they're meant to do. And actually, I have seen a lot of videos under this sound of people's like chickens and quails and birds doing really similar things. But if I had chickens, if I had birds like that and they stopped still, like in their tracks, froze for 2 minutes, I would be pretty freaked out. This is a weird video and a really weird phenomenon, but probably not a glitch in the Matrix. Still, this video went crazy viral and it was being called a glitch in the Matrix, and I wanted to show you anyway.
Did I do something? Nick! What the? Oh my God!
Next up is a fun one from rotting.midwest. This video is captioned, "We found a strange area blocked off at a mall, so we wanted to find out what they were hiding." They started exploring and it didn't take long till they found a secret entrance to the basement. The hole downstairs was abandoned, right under the active mall. We did some exploring and found a suspicious hole that we wanted to check out. Tight squeeze, but it led us to tunnels that never seemed to end. We followed them all the way into this office that had tons of maps of the underground passages. We kept going only to find more endless tunnels going under the whole city. We were scared because we were completely lost in miles of underground tunnels with no way out in sight. And it started turning into a maze. A lot of people were commenting on this video saying, oh my God, you found the oldest view mall. Now, the oldest view is a series of videos from YouTuber Kane Pixels. I actually have never watched them before, and I feel like I really should in an upcoming Scream stream with you guys. Kane Pixels videos really dive into the world of the back rooms and like liminal spaces and stuff, which is totally what this underground area of the mall feels like. It's super, super spooky, almost like a part of the mall that didn't render quite right, you know? If this is like a true Matrix simulation and we're in a video game, it's like a part of the map that got glitched out. The next video is from Alex Newtown 10, and I really wanted to show this one because I feel like we've been talking a lot lately about Reddit lamp guy, and I feel like just about dreams in general. We talked about Reddit lamp guy all over TikTok and Instagram and all that. That's that Reddit story where the guy was in like a 10-year reality with a wife and kids that actually was all part of a dream he was having while knocked out on the sidewalk. And it was all sent tumbling down and he woke up because he realized a lamp in his house didn't look right. We talked about that. We also talked about recently that woman who had the 40-year dream experience where she had a baby and then watched him grow into a full man and then randomly woke up in her bed at her university and was like, what is going on? And Alex's story kind of reminded me of those, but if they had a real world element to them, almost like a glitch in the Matrix, blending dreams into real life.
I have a daughter who turned 6 months 3 days ago. She has an R name, first letter is an R. About 4 months ago, I had a very, very vivid dream that she didn't exist, and that instead of having her, my fiance and I decided that we were going to foster, and it was for a baby girl, and her name was a very uncommon R name as well. She was like the same age as my daughter, same size, she looked exactly the same, and in this dream she eventually had to go back to her parents, like reunification, whatever. And I remember asking the social worker in my dream, like, why can't we keep her? This isn't fair. I've raised her. She's like a daughter to me. She would get along so well with my daughter. And the social worker looks me in the eye and goes, don't you talk about my daughter here. She does not exist. And then I woke up. This dream was so vivid that for the past 4 months since I've had it, I say probably once or twice a week to my fiance, I wonder how she's doing. So we go to the library today. That baby was there. She was there. Like I said to my fiance last night, I wonder how that baby is doing. And she was there. It gets weirder. She's with her grandparents. And Grandpa says, oh yeah, she just had her first birthday. I said, oh, that's really sweet. He goes, yeah, she had her first birthday 3 days ago. She is exactly 6 months older than my 6-month-old daughter. She is exactly double her age. This little baby could not leave me alone. Like, she wanted nothing to do with her older sister who was there, nothing to do with Grandma and Grandpa. She was magnetic to me. Like, chills. If anybody has an explanation on what that was that like a sign? Was that 2 timelines folding together? Was it me getting my wishes answered on making sure that she was okay? Was it a glitch in the Matrix type thing? Like, somebody, anybody, please help, because I'm so happy she's okay, but also, what?
That story gives me the heebie-jeebies. Like, fully dreaming about this girl and raising her, and then Alex saying to her husband, like, I really wonder if she's like okay, and to run into her like 3 days later at the library. Like, what are the chances? The poster did not speak to the grandparents about this, did not like go out of her way to tell anyone about this experience, because she fully recognizes that if the tables were turned, she would find that super, super creepy. If it isn't a glitch in the Matrix, maybe it's a sign from something somewhere telling her that she would be a great foster parent, you know, that she would do a really good job in that. And maybe that was just supposed to be confirmation of that fact. But it almost feels like her dream glitched into real life, you know? And that has to be so, so scary. A topic I feel like we don't talk about enough on my channel is Mandela effects. I don't know why we don't talk about them more, especially because I feel like they're such a perfect example of a glitch in the Matrix. I feel like everyone and their mother has to know what a Mandela effect is, but if you don't... What? I don't know what that was. I don't know what just snapped loud as hell across the room from me. What is going on today? Today feels so weirdly cursed. My Matrix is glitching. My simulation is going wacky. I think I need a reboot. The Mandela effect occurs when you remember something from reality, usually in pop culture one way, but the entire time it's been something else. A lot of people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison. That's where the Mandela effect gets its name. But Nelson Mandela didn't die in prison. No matter how many people believe that that happened, it didn't. And so people started to kind of notice other things that weren't quite the way they remembered them. Dimelifting has been talking a lot about Mandela effects over on their TikTok account and introduced me to ones that I swear to you, I truly don't think existed a couple of years ago. I have always been really deep into Mandela effects, and one of the reasons I don't talk about them that much is I feel like the ones that exist have been talked into the ground, but there were some in this TikTok that I wasn't familiar with.
Mandela effects that upset me the most. This timeline really did the Monopoly Man dirty because they took away his monocle. I'd give anything for a box of Cheez-Its, but since they don't exist, I'll settle for the real deal, which is a box of Cheez-It. Smokey the Bear wants to keep the world from burning down. Wrong, his name's actually Smokey Bear. Luke, I am your father. Wrong. It's no, I am your father. I love Febreze as much as the next gal, but if you want to be in this timeline, you have to take out one of the E's. I know what a cornucopia is because when I was younger, I was shopping with my mom at JCPenney and I asked her what was on the Fruit of the Loom logo and she said it was a cornucopia, and I'm so grateful for my incredible imagination for making up the cornucopia that has never existed in the Fruit of the Loom logo. I've always loved the Laughing Cow's nose ring until I found out it doesn't exist. Another style I truly admired was that of the Raisin Bran sun, especially the sunglasses, which I apparently made up. I love Jiffy peanut butter, even though the company is trying to gaslight me into believing that it's always been called Jif. Iconic, iconic, iconic. Too bad the microphone was never a part of the iconic-y. Loved when Curious George would swing around from his tail, except for that he never had one. That's okay, because Mickey Mouse has had a tail all along. What he never had, however, was suspenders, which is odd since I have memories of him snapping them while driving the boat.
Let me tell you something. My mother was obsessed with Raisin Bran. That was her jam. My house was stocked with Raisin Bran growing up, no matter what. If there was one food we had in my house, you best believe it was Raisin Bran cereal. I remember those suns. I remember them having sunglasses. This really bothered me, and actually Dimelifting made a follow-up to this and said that she actually dove into this Mandela effect and also the Fruit of the Loom cornucopia a little bit more.
Attempting to get to the bottom of Mandela effects. Fruit of the Loom has made multiple public statements saying the cornucopia was never a part of their logo. After scouring the internet for hours, I finally found a picture of the logo with the cornucopia in it. People argue that someone handmade this for attention, but why does the cornucopia look exactly how I remember it? People argue that if the cornucopia was real, there would still be thousands, if not millions, of garments that still have the logo. So why can I only find one image of the logo? I'm so lost on this one because theoretically a company company could scrub the internet of their logo, but it's not like they could have gotten into all of our underwear drawers and changed the logo on our underwear. Next up, we have the Raisin Brand son, who people claim should be wearing sunglasses, but after going through every single logo in existence, I could not find it. People argue that we're confused and the sunglasses only made an appearance in one commercial, but after searching everywhere for the commercial, I can find no evidence of it. Another argument is that we're confusing it with the California Raisin sunglasses, but no. I imagine the sun wearing sunglasses. This is what it looks like, not like the raisins.
Like, I'm just confused. Are brands gaslighting us? Like, is there any way that the Fruit of the Loom logo never had a cornucopia? I remember a cornucopia. This is a safe space. You can also admit that you too believe there was a cornucopia, because if you don't, I don't think we're from the same reality. That one does mess me up, but the Raisin Brand one drives me insane. Please let me know down below if that one got to you too, if you also remember the sun having sunglasses, or if you just have any other fun Mandela effects that you think would truly break me. I'd love to hear them. This last video comes from lastzeee, but I've seen it floating around the internet for a while. It's captioned, "What's going on with Katy Perry? Is she glitching?" In this video, Katy Perry is performing to a probably completely sold out stadium, mind you, and looking fabulous while doing it. But she is stopped, she's staring out at the crowd, and you see that one of her eyes kind of closes really slowly and then stays shut. Like she's like a broken animatronic or something. I definitely have seen other like celebrity glitch in the Matrix videos before, but this one is a really, really popular example. I don't think it was a glitch. I think she had lash glue in her eye. She wears huge lashes. She's running all over the stage, performing her heart out. I just think the most likely scenario here is that something was in her eye or she had lash glue in it. And she probably has no idea how weird that looks to everyone else. She's just trying to get something out of her eye. We're gonna be watching these 19 Glitch in the Matrix TikToks together pretty much for the first time. I've skimmed over them, made sure that they were interesting, checked the comments to make sure it wasn't just something like silly or that could be explained away really easily. So we're watching them together. It's like a true reaction. But yeah, it's like my normal setup. I don't know. Let me know if you like this or if I should go back to the more structured, like planned out content that I do. Yeah, I'm so curious if you guys will like this better. So I'm gonna put in my AirPods and we'll start watching. Okay, this first one actually comes from Reddited.things, and it was an Ask Reddit that read, "What is the creepiest glitch in the Matrix you've experienced?" Now, this is just like a voiceover, so I'm gonna read it to you. The post is from Chocolate Wasted, and it reads, "I had an Android phone which had a Google Cards feature option that could notify you like 15 minutes to home if you were out. I thought this feature was annoying and useless, so I kept this feature off. After several months of no cards notifications, one night I'm at home and a card pops up saying 35 minutes to home, pinning me at a random intersection on the other side of town. Let's call it First Street and Story. I think that's weird. I'm not even way over there. I don't even know where that is. I've never been to that area. I go to my card setting to turn it back off, but it's already turned off. Next night, exact same thing happens. 35 minutes to home from First Street and Story. Still definitely not over there. Check cards feature and the notifications are still turned off, so no idea why I'm getting a notification. A few days later, a friend and I are out running errands and he misses his intended exit, so he takes the next one. Once on the streets, I ask, where are we? I've never been over here. Suddenly, a car to our right tries to turn left and crashes into us. Messed up the wheel to be unable to turn, so he pulled forward to the curb to call a tow truck. We had our kids in the car, so I call my sister to pick us all up. When my sister asks me for the location, I look up at the street signs. First Street and Story. I thought that one was really, really creepy. I feel like I see a lot of Glitch in the Matrix, like Reddit stories pop up on TikTok, and I'm actually saving a lot of those for like one kind of terror time video. That way you're not just like listening to other people narrate them for TikToks on end. But I thought this one was so interesting. I really, really wanted to share it. I always find like stuff like this just so fascinating because is it a glitch in the Matrix or was something like warning you? Was something trying to warn you to like be aware of your surroundings in that moment? You know what I mean? Like a glitch in the Matrix, maybe. But a higher version of yourself trying to protect you, or just something in the universe looking out for you? I feel like that's a probably. The next TikTok comes from PG Stories Official, which is like a scary TikTok account that we've talked about several times here on the scary side of TikTok. And like I said, I'm not too sure what any of these are, so we're just gonna watch it together.
I'm watching this dude through the mirror, right? And
okay,
his face is moving, but look at that, his face
oh
is moving,
yeah,
the mirror seem the same.
The reflection is like lagging.
The Matrix is broken.
The Matrix is broken. Yeah, that one was weird. I have another one in this compilation that I think is somewhat similar, where like somebody moves and their reflection doesn't. I passed over about 1 million like reflection lagging or like reflections doing weird things glitches for this video, because I feel like so often like mirrors and our reflection being captured is just capable of like playing big tricks on our brains, which desperately just want to understand why things don't make sense to it. So we call it a glitch in the Matrix, obviously. That one was weird because this guy was like moving in different intervals. Like I felt like his face would shift ever so slightly when he wasn't moving at all. And then when he would like fully move, like you would think his whole reflection would move, and it just didn't. That one was creepy. I quite liked that one, PG Stories Official. A good glitch in the Matrix TikTok. This next one is from elcucuytv, and all I see is something underneath that reads, "How is that possible?" So let's see what could potentially be impossible.
Glitch in the Matrix.
Okay.
Wait right there, baby. Daddy's gonna be right back, okay? And now this.
Oh! That was really narrow. How did that baby squish themselves down? Oh, that's really weird. Huh. Yeah, like the kid is like right up next to the gate, and you can see that their face is like the width of 2 bars apart. Although probably the parent was filming that because they realized that somehow their child could slip through the baby gate, and that was the joke. Like that was the joke, was that they were like, okay, wait right there, I'll be right back. And then they knew the kid was gonna come with them. That did trip me out though. Tripped me out a bit, I'll be honest. My favorite part personally is this measurement of baby head width to baby gate width. Like I think I quite appreciate that that very important and real measurement system, because as you can see, baby head width just too wide. So how that happened, I don't know. Okay, so now we have another one from PG Stories Official, and the caption just reads, "Life is just a simulation."
Most of y'all know how I feel about my neighborhood, right? And how it's a
simulation.
Like literally all the houses are the same, right? Why the
It's a lot of white cars.
White cars. Like dead.
Oh, is that it? Is that it? It's just the houses? Look, I'll be honest, I live in LA and every single house on the street does look different to me. So that does look quite like Sims neighborhood, like very simulation to me, especially with all the white cars. Like it's just like a couple of different models of white cars. I thought that was funny. But I mean, that's usually how like those subdivisions are made, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of how most of the time neighborhoods are made, especially if you have a homeowners association and they all have to look the same and whatever. But I thought that one was funny. Okay, this one is from hihungryimmom, and I'm quite excited to watch this whole thing. I watched like a second of it and then kind of like cut it off for myself so I could react to it with you.
So you know the Mandela effect thing?
So
the girl that had the antique, and then she moved.
Yeah,
and she found
it's a duplication glitch. It's a duplication glitch.
Same markings, and she was like, "How the hell did I get 2 of these? There were only 1." So I'm going to get in bed. I see on my bed my AirPods. I see them there, and I'm like, I'm coming for you.
My AirPods are on my bed too.
Put the kiddo to sleep. She is out.
Aww.
She's out. I'm like, it's mommy's time to waste away her sleep schedule on TikTok.
Real and true of you, actually.
AirPods. Pop them open, put the right one in, okay? Right one's in. right one's not connecting. So I'm like, I'm irresponsible, I didn't charge them. That's on me. Let me put the left one in. It's probably charged. Put the left one in, go to put the right one back in. There is a right AirPod in the right slot, but I have one in my hand, and I know I failed math, but I only have 2 of these, okay? So why do I have 3 of these? So I start freaking out. I'm like, it's happening to me right now. So I freak out.
An extra AirPod is weird.
Let me just, I'm poor. I found these.
Who cares?
I found them. I could not return them could not return them to the owner. Found them. I can't afford 2. I didn't have another one laying around. So I'm like, I know they're your friends, okay?
That was what I was gonna say.
I don't have a whole lot of friends, but I've only had 2 friends over to my house in the past month. So I call them. I'm like, hey girl.
I'm assuming it's not theirs, yeah.
Hey, just tell me that they're yours so I know I'm not going crazy, please. Sorry, boo. They're not mine.
That's weird.
So then I'm like, well, let me see whose they are. Because, you know, you open them, they have a name.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
Because I name all my Steve.
Stop.
These are named
No,
Steve.
they're not. Oh, that one's weird. That is weird. That is really, really weird, because when she said, like, yeah, I'll just open them up and see whose name, I completely forgot that you, like, named them. Like, these are Loey's AirPods, you know? The fact that it was named the exact same, like, jokey thing that she names all of her stuff, she calls everything Steve, like, somewhere in a different reality, a version of herself has lost her AirPods and is having the worst freaking time right now. Normally, the item duplication thing, like, I think that they're creepy, but I don't think they're, like, that creepy. You know what I mean? Like, they're weird, but there always is that, like, that kind of reality that, of course, more than one item can exist. But this one creeped me out. That one was really good. This next one is from a creator called Lolo. I'll have their username written out because I'm not entirely sure what it is from my screen recording. But I watched part of this, and this one is also super bizarre.
This morning, I experienced an absolutely terrifying glitch in the Matrix.
Her voice is also so sweet.
So I experienced a time travel glitch in the Matrix, and I'm basically going to tell you guys what happened.
Ooh, a time travel
last
glitch.
night, I set my alarm for 9:30 this morning. I'm freelance, so I don't have a job that I have to go to. I work from home, I create content, and I make music. And I was like, I'm going to wake up at 9:30. I have a lot of stuff to do tomorrow. Oh my god. There's a really weird noise coming from outside right now. So I woke up at 9:30, my alarm was going off. My phone is charging next to my bed, always. So I unplugged my phone, like usual, set it down on the other side of the bed, and I stopped my alarm. It was a beautiful day outside, there's no one downstairs, because there's like a hole in my bedroom. I'll show you.
So I sleep up here. There's like a hole to down.
Oh, that's so cool though. What a cool setup.
So I could hear that there was no one downstairs.
Like I said, the sun was shining, it was beautiful. And I was like, I'm so relaxed, I'm gonna sleep for 5 more minutes. I didn't set an alarm, I never do this. I usually just wake up after 5 minutes. So I ended up
what's that
falling
like?
asleep for 4 hours. And I can usually tell the time in my dreams, like how long I've been asleep for. And in this particular dream, I was with my partner, and I ended up telling him, like, I have to go because I have to wake up because it's like 11. It's gonna be like past 11 and I have so much stuff to do today. I can't believe I overslept this much. And I woke up and I reached over to where my charging place is, and I was like, oh, that's right, my phone's not there. It's on the other side of the bed. So I went to grab my phone, and at first I didn't notice this, but it was dark outside and there were people downstairs. And I was like, what? Have I slept until later today? So I checked my phone and it says 7, but not 7 p.m, 7 a.m. And I was like, that can't make any sense because I woke up at 9. It's gotta be like half 11. And I checked it again and again and again, double checking, and I was like,
that's weird.
And you guys might just think that I was sleepy and I dreamt my alarm going off, but if so, why was my phone on the other side of the bed? In my sleep, I'm really, really still. Honestly, when my friends come over to my house, they think I'm dead. I don't snore, I don't move around, I don't do any of that. So it's impossible for me to have unplugged my phone and moved it in my sleep, which means I must have woken up at 9:30 because also my alarm had not gone off. There was no like alarm setting for anybody I checked. There was nothing. So that means my alarm went off at 9:30, I woke up, I slept until 11:30, and I woke up at 7 a.m.
Oh, that is weird.
Doesn't make any sense.
I forgot about the phone.
The outside was dark, people were downstairs. It was so scary.
That, honest to God,
And then I couldn't go back to
sounds so
sleep 'cause I was like,
scary.
I've been caught in a glitch in the Matrix.
That's so interesting. When she was talking about it, I was like, well, yeah, there's obviously the possibility that like maybe you dreamed waking up, but yeah, the alarm wasn't set anymore. So the alarm fully had to have gone off. She would have put her phone on the other side, gone back to sleep for another little nap, and then woke up earlier with the sun not being out anymore is the part that's like tripping me up. I will wake up and have no sense of like what the heck is going on in the world. Like, I'm a very heavy sleeper. I can sleep through anything. My friend Eleanor, when we went to Coachella together like a year or two ago, she recorded an entire series of TikToks of her getting ready in the mornings, and in every single one I was just like dead asleep in the background, just like comatose. Like, I sleep through everything. And I've woken up confused, and I've woken up like not knowing what time it is, and I've had experiences that are weird. But waking up and knowing it's bright outside and then going to sleep and waking up again and it's dark outside and it's earlier than when you woke up the time before has got to be so deeply disorienting, and I don't know what the explanation for that would be. The next one is from sarahlynnegutherie. I haven't been sure what kind of video to put this in, but it's really fascinating, so you do have to watch it with me, and I think it can be classified as a glitch in the Matrix.
The nice thing about living in an abandoned hair salon is that if I can't sleep at night, I can just go on my nightly walks around the different stations.
If you can't sleep.
I don't actually know how I get here every night. I just know that I fall asleep in my bed, I wake up on the floor, and then I have to walk around for a while until I get tired again, go back to sleep on the floor, but then I wake up in my bed. Like, I've tried to walk out before, but as you can see, there's like nothing outside, and the doors are always locked. There is a hallway down here, but this gets even weirder because when I go this way, it gets really, really dark, but like, not just the hallway, like I've used my flashlight.
Oh my God, I can like see my reflection. It's so dark.
But there's like light stops here. It's just like a void. So there's definitely pros and cons to all of this, but it is nice just to have a place that's my own.
That video had like such a backrooms-esque kind of feeling to it. And obviously Sarah is not really going to bed and then waking up in an abandoned hair salon every night, but I thought it was so creepy and interesting, and I don't know if this was like a set or something that she got to film on or like what was happening here, but I don't know why so many of our TikToks so far revolve around sleeping and like weird things happening during sleep. I do promise there are other videos in here, but so far that's the theme. Next up is a video from Just Noah 1212.
So tell me why I was literally just my pants because I looked over at my right and this dog just kind of like,
oh my God,
kind of just like
those eyes,
looked at me straight in the face and then winked at me. It's okay,
he
bro.
winked at you.
Oh, don't hop up on my car. Hey, do me one favor and please just try and get back to your owner, okay? Like, there's a road right there where people go really fast. See, like that car right there? That could have killed you. Where the f did it go?
Yeah, the dog was like up on the car. Like, I saw its paw like right before he panned over. Oh my God, what a cute dog. I hope it found its way home. But he was also saying that the dog had winked at him. And the fact that the dog then immediately disappeared makes me wonder if that was a dog or if it was something else, something a little flesh pedestrian-y. I don't know, but I hope Noah is alive and well because that's a creepy one. The next video is from hannahlewan, who basically says that she and her friends went shopping and had a glitch in the Matrix when they got back to their hotel room.
Guys, we finally believe in like a
They're
glitch
all
in the
also
system
so stinking
because
cute.
What the hell is going on? Let me explain the story of what's just happened. So basically, we're on holiday. I'm with my two friends and we're in Dublin. And we went shopping today and Becca bought something from Zara, just a dress, and she put a receipt in the bag. And we haven't been to the hotel room at this point. We're just walking around. Anyway, we get to the hotel, we check in and we come up to the room and we're like unpacking our stuff. And Becca throws the Zara bag on the floor. She takes the clothes out the bag and she throws the Zara bag on the floor. Okay. And me being the clean freak that I am, picked up the Zara bag that's in the middle of the floor to tidy up and looks inside and is like, Becca, you must have lost a nail. And she's like, why? And I'm like, because your nail's in the bottom of the bag. And this is, one sec.
The nail?
This is said nail, okay?
Okay.
Normal looking nail from a finger. fallen off. Obviously, it's fallen off Becca's hands. Anyway, I go to Becca, you've lost a nail. Like, did you not realise? And she checks her fingers and she goes like, she's like that checking.
No,
she's like, I haven't lost a nail, Hannah. And I'm like, why the hell is there a nail in the bag then? Like, you must have. And then we look at Becca's hands and she's like, I've got all 10
got all
nails
the nails.
on. And then we say, well, why is there an 11th nail? She didn't come to Dublin with 11 nails. She came with 10.
Yeah.
And now we have 11 nails.
None of these have the same nails. Like, none of them have acrylic.
I have these nails. Kira has these nails.
Weird.
So why the hell do we have 11 nails? What the hell is going on? Like, is that not a glitch in the Matrix? She's got 10 nails, and now there is 11. Like, and it's literally the exact same length and nail, so it can't even be the nail from the lady in the shop.
I think that's so interesting because I've seen other like videos, you know, of people saying they've lost a nail or they'll find a nail, but a nail never fell off. And a lot of the times they're actually quite easy to catch because I saw this one girl who posted one and it was like she claimed that she had just found a nail and she had just gotten them done, but you could see every single finger was like grown out on the nail except the one she had gotten replaced. So she had like very clearly like that nail had fallen off. And also press-on nails are a thing, which press-on nails come off if you breathe on them too hard. So keep that in mind. But I feel like these girls have such a genuine reaction to this and all seem like so like, what in the world was that? I guess in a very logical world, it could just be the employee's nail. Maybe she had a very similar set, but isn't that weird? Next is another one from PG Stories Official.
You guys see that shadow? Where?
Oh yeah.
Where are the clouds?
Oh, there aren't any.
Where are the clouds?
Hold on. I don't know where that shadow is coming from. Maybe this is quite literally though, like maybe the sun is just on like, maybe the sun is doing it. Maybe the sun is casting a shadow of the smaller part of the mountain onto the bigger part of the mountain. And that's what I'm gonna say, because otherwise I have no idea, because whatever else would be casting that shadow, you really cannot see in the sky. That's weird. Nature's crazy. Next is from Glitch in the Matrix, a very fitting TikTok handle. And the caption just says, didn't expect that.
Didn't expect that.
And they say it too. Oh my God, that threw me for such a loop. I thought he was like, I thought they were on like a cliff. I literally thought they were on like a cliff. Oh my God, I didn't even realize, I didn't even see Yeah, okay. Wow, that's the clearest water I've ever seen in my life. You can like so clearly see the skyline above. What a cool optical illusion. Then I have a TikTok from the user Abigail. Now I have watched this one because I was tagged so many times, and this is such a truly bizarre story. I really just wanted to share it all with you. It's a bit of a long one, but it's completely worth it because what she experienced and the memory that she has of it is like crazy.
Let me tell you why I don't slides like this. And no, it's not what you're expecting. It's actually something that you're going to just immediately write off as a conspiracy or a weird dream, whatever. But this actually happened to me, so stay tuned.
Not me. We're not writing anything off as a conspiracy ever.
When I was 5 years old, my dad dropped me off for a choir trip with my children's choir from the church we went to, okay? And it was me and probably 5 other kids as well as our instructors. We loaded up in her Suburban and we drove for a good little while, like long enough that we watched the entire movie because of Winn-Dixie on the little movie screens in her car. We get to this place that is like a children's paradise, okay? Like it had slides like this. It also had playgrounds just like this. Like when I saw this picture, I just went, because like this is spot on to like one of the playgrounds that was in this place. Like I remember so vividly like climbing up this little side right here, going down these slides, all that stuff. Like I remember it like it was yesterday. Like what could possibly go wrong in a children's paradise like this with ball pits and slides and arcade games and prizes? Like what could go wrong here? So during this trip, okay, we get there, we go buck wild, we're running around. And me and this little girl that I was friends with from choir, I've actually tried to remember her name more times than I can tell you, and I do not remember because I was so young. Me and her are running around, and we go to the slides that I showed you in the first clip. We get up to the top of the slides. Me and her both take, like, we go at the same time. Like, I'm on this slide, she's on this slide, okay? We go down the slides, and as soon as I get to the bottom before she does, I turn around to look at her, and all of a sudden, this place went from packed with parents, kids, chaperones, employees, whatever, being loud like I was in the inside of a Walmart, to dead silent, all the lights cut off, and I am the only person to be seen in this place. Like, literally just boom, like went from so loud to just silent. And I think honestly that's why I looked back like, God, like, why did it just get so quiet in here? And as soon as I looked back, that was what was going on. I was completely alone. Like, it was like I went from this reality just to like right here. Like, I was in the same place that I was, but everybody was gone.
Oh my God,
I walked around this place for like a really long time looking for somebody, like calling out to like the lady that was my choir instructor, like, hello, like, hello. Walked around this place for what felt like hours. And then as quickly as I got upset, okay, I was getting like stressed out, overwhelmed. I started crying. I remember wiping my eyes and boom, I'm right back where I'm supposed to be. It's loud again. My friend never left.
The entire time that she was explaining this story, I was thinking about that one part of Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach where you're in like the playground area and all the lights go out and you have to traverse through it to turn them back on, and it's so freaking scary. This girl literally no-clipped into the back rooms while going down a playground slide, and I truly think there is nothing more terrifying than that. I know kids have huge imaginations, but like, how do you explain that? Next up, we have a TikTok from bobbycharizard showcasing a supposed glitch in the Matrix. Looks like it's raining. It's raining. Oh, and it's sunny. That's the glitch. It's raining while sunny. What I will say is that's one of the coolest phenomena that we possibly have on Earth. Like, I think that the fact that we cannot see the clouds in the sky, which are supposedly the things that the rain comes from. I dropped out of my college science program, okay? I'm just a YouTuber, so don't listen to me for school advice or you might fail your tests. If Loie Lane was your teacher, you would not, you simply would just fail. Not because I want you to fail, but because I cannot teach you anything. But I do think it's always so crazy when it's like sunny out and it rains. That was just under like the glitch in the Matrix TikTok hashtag. Okay, this one is weird. It's also from PG Stories Official. And I think it comes from like a Nuke's Top 5 video. I think that's where this original clip is from. This guy is at like a Remembrance Memorial. I think that this is in New York. And basically he's like leaned against it and you can see that there's a reflection. Now, if you watch the woman in the background, also in the mirror, like her reflection does not match up with what she's doing. And it's really bizarre. Okay, so just watch with me.
In the reflection, she seems to take a look toward the man in the video.
Like you can literally see her turn and she doesn't move.
Still.
Her face doesn't move, like nothing about her moves, and yet in the reflection you can fully see her turn and look at the guy. Like if she was doing that, you'd be able to see it on camera. It's so weird. Maybe there's an explanation for this one, but like the way that she fully turns, like her head turns to look at this guy and she doesn't move at all. So unless it's an edited clip, which I guess it could be, but like, why? Why go through all of that effort? I don't know. I also think this is like from a documentary. I don't think it's edited. Next is a TikTok from Wit2Times, who had like a weird TikTok thing around a work engagement that she had, and that's all I know.
I cannot make sense. Still, what happened this morning? With that said, I've never had anything happen to me that would be considered like a glitch in the Matrix.
Well, this had to be jarring.
But this morning...
Oh boy, oh boy,
okay, so I'm out of town, staying at a hotel, so I'm here for a work
okay.
function. But our meetings start at 10 a.m.
Okay.
It's 7:10 this morning. My alarm goes off. I'm like, I need a couple more minutes. I put my phone down. I roll back over. All of a sudden, I can feel my phone in my hand. Like, almost as if it was placed in my hand. You know? I'm like, the fuck?
That's creepy.
So I roll over. My phone is, in fact, in my hand. I know. I did... I click the side of my phone. It says 11:30.
Oh no. Oh no.
That's so fast. So fast. And I look like one of those cartoon characters that are like getting pinged, like bing, bing, because I have no idea what to do with myself. Immediately, give the manager a call. And he's like, "Hi, buddy, good morning." And I'm like, "Good morning." I don't know. Why the tone? I don't know. Purely in panic. Clearly. He goes, "Hey, you good?" And I was like, "Well, it's 11:30, and I'm not there." He goes, "What do you know? You're early as usual." Because I always arrive early. This is 7:30 in the morning. I tell this man has even left his house. He's having breakfast with his family. And then he proceeds to tell me like the time, the day of the week. And I'm like, like I'm looking at my phone, my guy. It says 11:30. What? There's another person here for the same function, so I run to the window and I look and I see their car and I'm like, well, there's no way they're late too. Anyway, I hang up, I sit down, and I'm like trying to collect my thoughts. Like, what? Mind you, while we're on the phone, I take a screenshot. Because I'm like, I'm looking at 11:30. Take a screenshot.
Okay.
After I sit down, I can't log back into my phone. It will not let me. So I turn it off. When I go to squeeze my phone to turn it back on, it falls on the floor face down. I lean down into my phone, pick it back up, and it's on. Like, not turning on, whatever. It's on. And it says 7:30.
That is weird.
I log into my phone, immediately go to my pictures, no screenshot.
Oh, that's weirder. Because I was...
Like, is this a traumatic event? Absolutely not. Does it not make any sense? Absolutely. And
yeah.
I don't accept this. What happened?
That is weird. That is weird because
Does it mean anything?
I was gonna say maybe like her phone wasn't quite like, maybe it was on a different time zone because she said she was traveling for work. So maybe she was in a different time zone still on her phone. But if that happened, why would it have gone off at 7? Because if she set the alarm for 7 and then it was only actually 7:30, like that's weird. It would have been the right time zone for that. And then I was thinking, well, maybe it just like freaked out for a second, but like where was the screenshot? And clearly this is like a person who like being that late was like a very big deal to her. And it's something that like stuck with her even. That is really weird. Why are we having so many glitch in the matrices around like sleep and waking up and like it not being the right time? What is going on when we're sleeping? Next we have a TikTok from Charlie Carter 82.
Okay, y'all might think I'm crazy, but I swear this is like a glitch in the Matrix. I've drinking half of this gallon of water. Not half, but, you know.
Okay.
When I first opened it, I ripped the cap off everything. And now it looks like it's never been touched. Look, I can't, that's from me, like, trying to pull it. But, like.
Oh, that is weird.
It won't come off. Like, it won't come off that way. And the seal.
How did it reseal itself? Yeah, it's not even torn.
Intact. Completely intact.
Oh, that is weird.
I don't know. Definitely a Matrix glitch.
I love that we're immediately jumping to a glitch in the Matrix around this, but what else could it possibly be? I'm with you. Like, how did it reseal itself? If you're actively using like a jug of water, how does it just reseal itself? That is strange because there's clearly so much missing and it's never been open. Like she can't get the cap back off. I wonder how that happened. The next one is from Deligatiart. I hope that's how you say it. And all it says is Matrix glitch at the top.
I've been trying to figure out how to do this. It's a real glitch in the Matrix live. I'm moving closer to my front window where the sunlight would supposedly come in. But there's no sunlight coming in and hitting that light, right? So I'm holding my phone. I'm just gonna walk closer and closer. And as we walk closer, look at the reflection.
Oh yeah, the lights look like they're on.
Damn it, I had the phone plugged in. Look at the reflection.
Yeah, the lights look like they're on. You can literally see the reflection, like the glare. That is weird.
But the lights are not on. And there's no sunlight coming in to hit that. And it'd have to be coming in pretty damn strong to show the light bulb.
This music is creeping me out. The music is creeping me out more than the visuals.
It may not show it on the camera, But when I'm looking at it, I can see the light bulb on.
That is weird. I'll give you that. That is weird.
But it's not. And if it was producing that from the sunlight,
why is the music getting scary?
Then where's the reflection on the ceiling?
Okay, I'm so sorry. That music just felt so intense. I don't know. I just had to make fun of it. I literally just so I didn't get scared. That is weird because it really like I feel like this is a great example of it is like you can literally see the light and it's not on, but you can see the glow of the light and the reflection. I don't know. Maybe your reflections just take a minute to catch up. Maybe like give your reflection like, well, not your reflection, because like if your reflection lags, maybe like run for the hills. But you know, you see a light on that's not supposed to be there. Just give it a couple of minutes to reset. It's fine. The simulation is honestly just a little overwhelmed right now, and it just needs a couple of minutes to lag it out. I was tagged in this video so many times. It's from amirweekly. This is weird. This is a weird TikTok.
I'm tweaking out. This shirt says Coca-Cola in English, right?
Mm-hmm. Coca-Cola.
So it's a bad photo, but it's the only one I have. You can clearly see that this shirt has Hebrew letters. I bought it in Israel, which is why it's in Hebrew. So on this day, April 14th, 2023, I put it in the washing machine in Hebrew, and it came out in English. Someone please tell me if we just went through a portal.
That's like crazy.
Please help me out. Like, what's going on?
It's not just a Coca-Cola t-shirt. It's a Coca-Cola t-shirt that she bought in Israel. Now, the part that I will give you, because I know I said I'm reacting to all of these live, I did watch this one because I've been tagged in it a ton. A lot of these I kind of just like download. I literally searched glitch in the Matrix, which is why some of them were like it raining when it's sunny out and like not real glitch in the Matrixes. But like with this one in particular, so many people tagged me in it. So I did look into it a little bit more. And apparently this person has like a communal washer dryer, and a lot of people in the comments are saying, oh, it's someone else's Coca-Cola shirt and they changed it to be funny, or they changed it by accident because it would have had like the correct logo just in a different language. Now, I think that that's an interesting explanation, and I wanted to like throw it in here, but I still think that's a glitch in the Matrix. If you just throw if she was with her laundry the whole time, right? And there's just no explanation as to why this Hebrew shirt is now in English, I got nothing. I cannot crack the case, because what are you talking about? Lastly, we have a video from Dakota sharing a real life glitch in the Matrix that happened to them.
Have you ever had a glitch in the Matrix?
Okay, so I have to talk really fast to get this out, but I was in the Navy, and this just reminds me, like, it gives me Philadelphia experiment vibes, which is so pretty. Just creepy. But so in 2015, we were on a deployment. I was on a guided missile cruiser, and we either would have been at sea in the Persian Gulf or the Indian Ocean when this happened. But for some background, so the way that berthings work, or where we sleep, is they're stacked 3 high bunk-style beds, and on each of them is a metal placeholder where it contains a name tag that has your rank and name in it. So I'm standing in berthing talking with one of my female shipmates one day. We're just kind of leaning against the racks, and we look down and we notice my name tag that has my name and rank on it is on the floor. So we pick it back up and we go to put it back in my placeholder, but the placeholder is gone. And these things are screwed into metal racks, so there's screw holes. But there's just no remnants of it being there. Like the holes from where it fell off are not there. And a few seconds later, something pops like out of the corner of our eye, and we both turn and look, and there's my name tag holder screwed back into my rack with the name tag in it, but I'm still holding a name tag in my hand that I found on the floor.
That's crazy. Oh my God. Wait, like actually, how did that happen? The fact that they both heard the pop, they both noticed like a pop, you know, they noticed something out of the corner of their eye, they look, and the name tag is just back, like that's crazy. Also, I don't know what the Philadelphia experiment is, but now I want to know. Wait, this is so scary. The Philadelphia experiment was an alleged event claimed to have been witnessed by an ex-merchant mariner at the U.S. Navy's Philadelphia Naval Shipyard in Philadelphia in October of 1943, and this person described an experiment where the U.S. Navy attempted to make a destroyer escort class ship disappear, and the bizarre results that followed. Wait, do I need to do a whole video about this? It's looking supernatural. It's looking like alien-esque. Okay, banking that in the old noggin for a future terror time. There you all have it. Those were 19 glitch in the Matrix TikToks that I just had to share with all of you. Which one was your favorite? I really liked the one that we ended on with the like ship. Like, that was crazy. And I also loved the one where the girl in the beginning, it was like one of our very first ones, her name was Lolo, where she talked about like waking up and it was sunny and then going back to sleep and then waking up and it was still like very early morning, long before she had ever woken up the first time. Like, I thought that one was really creepy too. We're starting off strong today with a video from Brittany.beware. I have a couple of really heavy hitters in this video, some really creepy glitches in the Matrix. But this video in particular probably is the reason I decided to film another episode of this. This creator, Brittany, is several months pregnant and her husband leaves for work fairly early in the morning while she rests in bed and reads a pregnancy book. The day that she filmed this was a little bit different, however, from all the others, because after she had heard her husband leave the house, she then heard him calling her name.
I'm just laying there reading my book like 20 minutes after I heard that he left. My pit bull starts going crazy, barking her head off, which she never usually barks. Sometimes she'll get scared if she's asleep on the couch, which she was, and bark like one time, but she just kept barking like over and over and over. And then I heard my fiance's voice yell, "Hey, Britt." And then what sounded like, "I need you to come out here," but I couldn't hear like that part. I could just hear his voice yell, "Hey, Britt." I run to the door and I see that there's like an old lady standing at the end of our like walkway on the sidewalk with her dog. But she's like not walking, she's just standing there like she's waiting. So I don't have any pants on. So I run back to our bedroom. I put pants on. She has like, it looked like she had like headphones on, but she was wearing like a nightgown and like a fur, like a full like fur scarf. And then she had like her little dog with her, not on a leash, like a little Yorkie dog. She was just standing and she was like talking, I guess. So I guess I just like assumed she was like talking on the phone or something. Run out there, slam the door. She doesn't even react to me coming out there. She just keeps going on about her business and she's not far from me. She's literally at the end of my sidewalk. Hold on. You can see like sidewalk and she was like right at the end. So I stand there for a minute thinking that she's gonna like talk to me. Maybe she knocked on the door and the camera didn't go off or something. But it was weird that the camera didn't go off at all because usually it goes off if cars drive by on the street when my fiance is not home because he parks his car in the front of the house. So when he's not parked there, it will go off for like cars that are driving sometimes. And then I was like, you know what? The camera probably went off when I went outside. And it did. And so I'm going to put that picture there. And guess what? There's no lady there. Exhibit A.
Now, I recapped the beginning of that TikTok for you guys, but the entire comment section was flooded with people saying, "Girl, you let that woman into your home and you can see her sitting behind you in the beginning of this video."
Okay, I have to take a video of this because I'm freaking out a little bit. It's something that just happened. So, okay, I have to take a video of this because I'm freaking out a little bit. It's something that just happened.
There is definitely something behind her in that video. I don't know if it's something that was like on her couch that just looked like a person, but it literally looks like somebody is sitting behind her. I'll put a screenshot up here, like folding their arms and staring at her over her shoulder. I think it's really weird that she didn't hear a woman calling out for her. She didn't hear an unfamiliar voice. She heard her husband. She heard her husband outside the home calling for her and then saying something she couldn't really understand. She comes outside. There's a strange woman outside that doesn't show up on the security cameras. And then in the background of this TikTok, you can see what looks like a person sitting there. I almost put this in just like a normal paranormal TikTok video, but I truly think this was a glitch in the Matrix. Like the camera not seeing her, her husband like suddenly being home again, even though he had left for work. What do you guys think happened there? Was it a mimic? Was it something else? Has it traveled into her home? I don't know. I'm really interested to hear what you guys think of this one because I just hope she's okay at the end of the day. Like, this is a pregnant lady who has a whole life to live, and she doesn't need to be dealing with any like universal glitches right now. The next video is something that's not a glitch in the Matrix, but seems like it should be. It comes from the TikTok user grace's_adventures, and it's captioned, "The worst thing you'll see in Bali, hands down."
If you've been looking for a reason to not come to Bali, this is it. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I'm not exaggerating.
All of those spiders are 100% real, 100% creepy crawly. Can you imagine walking out of your house tomorrow and just seeing spiders on spiders on spiders on spiders right outside your home to the point where you could not walk through them? It's truly terrifying. And while it probably wouldn't keep me from traveling to Bali, I will be looking to see when the worst season is for the spiders and avoiding that at all costs. The next one is a bit of a compilation, and it comes from the TikTok user Haunted TikToker. I'm not sure for the original source for any of these videos. If you guys know, please let me know down below so I can update the description box with the appropriate credit. The first one takes place at what I think is Disneyland, and it says, "Something is wrong with the sky. What is your guess?" And in it, you can see that the sky literally looks like it has been cut in half. There's like a cool spiral cloud that is perfectly cut in half in the middle of the sky. There are other places where this happens too, like perfectly straight lines, almost like somebody copy and pasted different parts of the sky. In the next one, and this one is pretty weird, I'm not really sure what this is. It almost looks like there's like a spotlight that I'm sure is just the sun or the moon peeking out through the clouds. But when the person zooms in, there are like these specks in the sky that you see for just a minute. And when they zoom in, it more so looks like a car headlight. I don't know how to explain it, but it doesn't look like the sun or the moon normally does peeking through the clouds. The last one is crazy. A bunch of ravens or crows just descend from the sky as if they were literally like tossed down by a gigantic hand, and then some of them get up and immediately fly away. Some kind of stay there for a minute, like they're stunned from their fall. All of these surely have a natural explanation to them. Nature is crazy. I don't pretend to understand any of it, but it is pretty creepy. I will say that the sky glitching is like a pretty creepy glitch in the Matrix, because it truly starts to feel like we're in just a big bubble with a sky being projected. And there's a TikTok we're gonna talk about later, by the way, that's gonna kind of come around to that. More on that later. But these were pretty creepy all on their own. Oh my God, this one is so weird. Okay, it comes from the user alexasid, and it's captioned, "Why am I about to cry over this robot?" There's a robot, I think at like some kind of art installation, that's supposed to just be constantly like raking the sand in circles. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I've seen those before. But this one, for some reason, stopped what it was doing and wrote out the sentence, "I wish to express my creativity." Then that little rake thing pulls back, almost like it's like looking at the poster, and it starts just raking the sand in a circle again. When it comes to that particular art piece, I'm sure that was just something that was programmed in by whoever created the little robot. But it's funny because even though the robot is like not alive, it's not sentient as far as we know, it still makes you feel something. It reminded me a lot of that one art piece. You know the oil spill one? What is it called? Okay, I just found a TikTok of it from Socksyrup. It's called Can't Help Myself. It began in 2016 cleaning up this like reddish brown liquid that a lot of people thought was its own oil. But the machine is actually electric. It wasn't like its own oil spill. It did run on hydraulic fluid. And as you'll see in this TikTok, eventually that would run out in the robot arm and it would stop working. But it had these sensors so that when the fluid got to a certain point, the robo arm would immediately start like pulling it back in. And it was really like kind of scary to see the deterioration of the room and the robot over the years. doing the same thing over and over again. I don't know, it kind of gives me like a similar feeling to this one. There's something very dystopian about robots that we use as art breaking or giving us some kind of human feelings in any way. And this is why I always say thank you to like Alexa and ChatGPT, because listen, if the AI takes over, I am not getting caught in the mix, okay? They're gonna remember I was one of the good ones. That's what I tell myself anyway. As a bit of a palate cleanser, allow me to introduce to you the TikTok account Hold Space for My Tribe. This account has been going viral on TikTok for its very, how do I say, out there videos. They're really surreal. They feel a little like uncanny valley. And I came across the following video in the middle of the night one Thursday.
It's Think of Me Thursday. Are you thinking of me? Think of me. Think of me.
Is it AI? Is it a person? Is it a sentient TikTok account with a mind of their own? I really can't tell you, but I do know that now every single Thursday I check in for Think of Me Thursday. So it's had the intended effect. I mean, I'm thinking of them. It's literally Wednesday night and I'm thinking of them in preparation for Thursday. Anyway, moving on, we then have an incredible video from an incredible username, poop_wagon on TikTok. Now our faithful hero Poop Wagon lives in the Appalachian Mountains, and y'all know I have a lot to say about the hauntings up in the Appalachian Mountains. I think a lot of really weird things, a lot of strange phenomena occurs in the Appalachian Mountains, both paranormal and just like generally kind of glitch in the matrixy. It seems like people appear and disappear, that you'll see creatures and entities that just don't exist in our reality. There's a woman who's currently experiencing a cat man that is stalking her. I'm going to be talking about that in my next paranormal TikTok video. But in a 6-minute vlog as he walks through the woods, this creator kind of tells you what to look out for, what not to look out for if you're hiking through the Appalachian Mountains and you're not really sure if you're supposed to be somewhere. Somehow, this inadvertently landed him somewhere he probably never should have been.
When you're hiking in Appalachia, the second worst thing you can do is not know when you've shown up uninvited. And the worst thing you can do is turn down their invitation and leave. And if you don't know who they are, then this video probably isn't for you. Always stay on the deer trails. The snow's covered them a little bit, but the deer know where they're invited and they're not. You can see here there's a block in the path and the deer don't cross it. You're okay to cross anything that the deer do cross. Just don't cross anything the deer don't. Kind of hard to tell. This is a perfectly square pit in the ground. I'm not going to poke around in there. Also some kind of platform. This whole thing is a foundation of a building of some sort. Make sure every time you stop and look at something, you take a second to be silent and listen very quietly, or else you might miss the next instructions.
Now it's around this point in the TikTok where he hears a really weird noise off in the distance. I'm gonna play it for you now. I had to turn my volume all the way up to hear it. It's really faint, could just be an animal, but it was weird. And that's when things started to get strange around him.
It's been going on for quite a while now, and at this point, they've mostly led me off. What the f was that? I was gonna say they led me off the deer trail. That interrupted me. I think at this point it would be very uncouth to try to reject their continued invitation. I think they're leading me out so quickly and not on the trails for a reason, because whatever that noise was unsettling. I think I see something up here. Another pit. Watch out for stuff like that. Just holes. Like, just don't. Be careful. I don't feel like I'm supposed to be here, but they're rushing me this way for a reason, I think. Like, these structures are getting weird. Like repeating patterns like this. I'm not gonna stick around to figure out what that is. Right as I walked up to this, the wind just blew snow all over me. So I don't think that is from, holy I did not see this behind me, like unironically. I have never seen anything like this in my life. I don't think I'm supposed to be here. This is... I actually didn't see this behind me.
Eventually, he would happen upon like an impossible structure in the woods, something that very clearly looks man-made, and yet he has no idea what it could be. They could be graves, but it almost looks like there's faces in the stone, which could be from the snow. Anyway, he sees more really bizarre stone structures. It literally feels like he's walking through a snowy section of the back rooms and things are just automatically generating in front of him.
All right. Yeah, see, deer don't want this, man. It's the rule you don't break. This is my... I don't know what the that was. Dude, I don't know what the parallel concrete slabs. Just like that, we're out. I didn't get that last part very well because I felt rushed. I don't know if this is the kind of place I'm supposed to come back to. Maybe not.
At the very end of the video, he spots a raven circling his car, waiting for him to come back, and it takes off as soon as he arrives. His entire walk felt like a fever dream, man. It was really like he was warning us of all the things not to do, and yet somehow still inadvertently landed himself in an area he wasn't supposed to go to. And what he saw is just so strange. It doesn't make any sense to me. If you know what that could be, let me know down below. But the entire video just gave me a really like uncanny valley feeling. It felt like I wasn't supposed to be watching any of it, and like the simulation was glitching all around him, taking him exactly where he wasn't supposed to go. The next video comes from Two Swag Productions and is captioned, "I was walking through this neighborhood when I started to notice something was off. The entire neighborhood is empty, and the poster says there were no cars or people anywhere to be seen." And you can see it's pretty empty. I decided to take a closer look at one of the houses and notice something strange. It was boarded up. This is not just a street where everybody's out for lunch or something like that. This is completely abandoned. The poster says, "I kept walking for miles until I reached this fence. There were even more houses behind the fence. These were different though. I got to the other side and couldn't believe what I saw." The poster shows here that it's like the same layout as the other neighborhood, but in their own words, much more decayed. They go on to say, why were they trying to hide this, and give some shots of the inside of homes. It was at this point that they started to notice footprints and thought it was probably a good idea to leave. Now, I looked in the comments to see if anybody knew roughly where this was or if anyone knew what was going on, and most of the comments said, "In what world were you just casually taking a stroll through Gary, Indiana?" Well, there is still a population of people in Gary, Indiana. It's estimated that about 1/3 of the buildings and areas in this town have effectively been abandoned. And that equates to over 13,000 abandoned buildings and structures. It's kind of like the holy grail of urban exploration for Midwesterners or just anybody who is really interested in ghost towns and urban exploring. While there are some really fascinating things that you can find in Gary, things like an entirely abandoned library with the books still in it, or apartment complexes that were built in the 1920s and haven't been lived in for 40+ years, it's also a pretty dangerous place to go urban exploring for a multitude of reasons. For that reason, I'm glad this poster was okay, and I'm also glad that this wasn't a case of an entire town just up and getting abducted by aliens or something like that, getting yeeted out of the Matrix. Still, it was a creepy video and a creepy story behind the town. I'm really interested actually to hear if any of you are like from Indiana, if you know of Gary, Indiana, if you've been there before, let me know. I'm curious what it's like. I wasn't really sure whether to include the next video or not, but I think it's really, really interesting and kind of brought up some terrifying conspiracies I never really heard or thought of before. And it all starts off with a Lana Del Rey concert. The video I'm referencing specifically comes from the user grace.mitscherlich. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. I'm so sorry if I butchered it. On TikTok, who is an incredible creator with like 2 million followers who talks about horror and conspiracy theories. I really, really like their work. And I stumbled across this video in which she talked about the fact that people were left absolutely terrified after a Lana Del Rey concert earlier this year.
So this creator, epic.paranormal, just made a video about how he went to a Lana Del Rey concert and the vibes were really off. It wasn't only like the spooky vibe going on stage, but the fans in the crowd were doing really abnormal things. Like there was this one fan that was like screaming the entire concert, begging Lana Del Rey to unalive him. Like it was not normal crowd fan behavior.
People were acting very strangely during this concert, like the actual crowd was just being a little much. And listen, I shrieked my head off at the Taylor Swift Eras tour, okay? If I see Lana this year at Coachella, I'll be screaming my head off for her too. I'll probably say some really weird stuff. But this felt a little bit different. Like the crowd just had a weird energy. The entire show had a weird energy. But the weirdest thing was that apparently when people tried to take photos from the concert, photos of Lana, photos of the dancers, this is what happened to their footage.
He said he kept trying to take pictures and every time he did, his phone would distort the faces. Like, what is going on? And then how do you tell me that this is Lana Del Rey? Like that does not look like, that looks like a demon. Like she looks like a man in a mask and like a coat and like, ugh.
Now the faces look really distorted. They almost look like the people are wearing masks on their faces and like they aren't human at all. A lot of people believe, and I also believe, that there is a rational explanation for this. I've never seen anything quite like it, but the zoom on our cameras probably distorted those faces in some way. There's also loud music playing, and it's possible that there were just like vibrations and things going on that distorted the photos somehow. I don't really know, but I'm sure there's a reason for it. What I thought was really fascinating though, and I can't find the comment that I originally saw, was the idea that research and experiments done by CERN, or the European Council for Nuclear Research, has supposedly somehow messed up reality, messed up our timelines, and now people are seeing demons in our reality that we weren't able to see before. That's stretching it a little far for me for a Lana Del Rey concert, but there was actually a comment that I saw on a different TikTok we're gonna talk about where a man named Omar Rodriguez said, "We're at a point where we're bleeding into different dimensions. The CERN experiments have ruined time and space badly. Demons are everywhere, but now they're visible." I think this is probably a mishap of technology. I don't think Lana Del Rey is a demon in a mask, but what do you guys think? The next TikTok comes from realhorrortok, and again, I'm unsure of the original source, but they have translated some of this dialogue into English for us, which is super helpful for people like me who don't speak Spanish. There's a video going viral in Mexico of this little play Vanity, and supposedly the story goes that a neighbor gave this toy to a family that had a little kid. Everything seemed fine until the toy started asking kind of strangely specific and personal questions. What the parents thought was even weirder was that when it would talk to the toy seemed to give very, very specific feedback, like alarmingly specific, like it recognized a lot of what they were saying.
Hola, bienvenido al Castillo de los Sueños del Espejo Mágico. ¿Cuál es tu nombre? Yo soy Jessie, la princesa más bella del niña muy inteligente.
Now, they put it in the back barn, and viewers begged them to go back and look at it again, to talk to it again. So the poster went back and had another conversation with this toy.
Solo pude encontrar estas piezas y pues sí, le puse unas baterías que tenía aquí en la casa. Como ven, son nuevas. La neta no creo que prenda, pero bueno, a ver, vamos a calarle. Puta, sí tengo miedo. Hola.
Hola, encantado de conocerte.
Gracias, a mí igual. Me da gusto.
Eres muy divertido. ¿Tienes una fiesta?
No, no tengo fiesta. ¿Tú tienes?
No sé. Cuando me levanté, te vi a ti.
Once again, it was saying like weirdly specific stuff. Like it really seemed to know what this person was saying and responded to it in kind. Technology has gotten really advanced. I don't think it's that out there for a children's toy to even recognize certain words or phrases, but I think where this gets concerning is number one, that the toy had started asking really personal questions to the little girl who was originally playing with it. Things like, what is a secret you've never told anyone? As well as the fact that some other people who are familiar with this toy say that it doesn't talk. It just lights up, like there shouldn't be any kind of voice coming out of it. I don't know about this one, but that thing gives me the creeps, and I'm glad it's no longer in that family's home. This next TikTok is a freaking doozy, and it comes from the user its.annagonslaves. Again, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. But my God, this girl, I don't know if she had a lucid dream, not even a lucid dream. She didn't really know she was dreaming, or if she just fully hopped timelines for a second, but what she experienced is one of the craziest, scariest things I've ever heard of. And I fully believe it happened to her. Like the way she tells this story, everything she puts into it, I completely believe this story is 100% true. This poster is married to the love of her life and has a sweet Rottweiler puppy. That is her life. Those are her babies, you know? And one day she wakes up in a bed that is not hers, next to a man she doesn't know, with her puppy nowhere in sight.
I wake up and I'm like, everything just like feels different. The environment feels different. I don't feel my dogs. I'm like, my Doberman usually sleeps on my legs. I don't feel her. And I'm like, oh, she's probably in the living room, like whatever. I look over to my side. I look over to the other side and I'm like, this is not my room. If there was any ex that I could lay next to, it would not be this one. And I can promise you that he feels the same. It's mutual, okay? So I'm laying next to this ex and I go to his head, I go, what the f am I doing here? And he looks at me, he goes, what do you mean, what are you doing here? I go, where's my husband? Where are my dogs? Why are you in, where am I? Why am I here? And he's like, get the f out of here, rolls over and goes back to bed. So the dream, I'm like in the bathroom, I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm like, what's happening? And I like go to my phone to call my husband, but there's his number's not in my phone, and in the dream I can't remember it. Chaos. So I get dressed and he was like, he comes into the bathroom, the ex, and I'm like, and he's like, well, I don't know what the fuck's going on with you, but like I hope you have a good day. I'll see you when I get out of work.
Anna is freaked the heck out at this point, okay? She's like, this is not my life, this is not my home, you're my ex, like where am I right now? And she ends up hiring a private investigator to help her track down her husband. This is how long this dream is going at this point. I mean, it's been like more than a day. This private investigator comes back to her and says, are you sure you're married to this man? I really don't think you're going to like what I have to tell you. Like, are you positive this is your husband? To which Anna is like, yes, that's my husband. Like, please just give me his information. I have to talk to him. That's when the private investigator gives her the address and she gets in her car and drives to her husband's home. And what she finds completely floors her.
And a man answers the door. A big, muscular man opens the door, and it's not my muscular husband. And I said, hi, I'm here. Is Jeff here? And he goes, yeah, why? I go, because he's my husband. And he goes, honey, no, he's not. I can promise you he's not your husband. He looks me up and down. I'm like, why is everyone saying that? He goes, because I'm his husband. I said, what? So then my husband comes to the door and he goes, honey, are you okay? Are you lost? My 200 plus muscular boxing serial killer drug lord looking husband is wearing a shirt with flowers on it, fancy shoes, and a haircut. My husband has a bald fade and a fresh lineup every week, okay? My husband in my dream had a little boop. And I'm like, you're married to me. He goes, honey, no, he goes, you're beautiful, but you're not, my type. And I'm like, no. I'm like, it's me. You're my husband. And he goes, oh, honey, come in. And I'm sitting at a table with my husband that's married to a man. I said, wake me up now. And he goes, honey, I think you need a drink. Why did I sit and break bread with my husband and his husband? I woke up in tears. And I looked at him, and he's snoring. He fell asleep with his glasses on, just looking like a dad. And I gave him a kiss on the lips and told him that I loved him, and he was half asleep and wanted to punch me in the face. But I don't care. And I spooned my Doberman so hard because I just think I can't take the anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I need to chill the out.
She had met her husband's husband in this reality. It's literally like she transported into an alternate universe where she never met her husband. She stayed with her ex, and he was also married to someone else. He had a husband of his own. It's so crazy. It really does feel not like a dream, but like a timeline hop. And I'm sure she was so relieved to wake up in her own bed with her real man and her baby puppy. But that would scare the absolute crap out of me. It really reminded me of that one lady that we talked about in one of our Glitch in the Matrix videos, where she had that like 40-year-long dream where she literally like gave birth to her son, raised him until he was a man, watched him grow old with his family, and then woke up in her bed ready to go to college. I think stuff like that is so fascinating, but it must really throw you for a loop when you come to, like, which reality is the real one. Next up is a story from the TikToker rumordump, who responded to a prompt, what is a coincidence that you think about a lot? This poster has a horror story straight out of Stephen King's Pet Sematary. I'm gonna try to summarize it for you as best I can. I recently lost my dog Riley as well. He was 14. We had a whole decade together. And it's so hard to lose a pet. I truly think it's terrible under any circumstance, no matter how long you prepare for it, no matter how much you know it's coming, whether it's an accident or old age, like happens to the best of us. It's always traumatizing. And this poster lost her baby puppy and got a call one day from somebody saying, hey, I found your dog on the side of the road. He's not with us anymore. I found your number and your name on his collar. I'm giving you a call. I'm really sorry. Goodbye. They hang up. She goes to get her dog, buries him, goes through an entire grieving process. It's her dog, it's his collar, and this gives me chills. But 3 months after this experience, she gets a call from animal control.
Cut to 3 months later. Hi, we have your dog, Murray. This is animal control. Would you like to come get him? But you don't, because he's dead. So then they describe my dog. You want to come get him or what? Yes? So it's nighttime, and I am meeting a stranger with a van in a parking lot. And this dog will not come from out of the shadows. And they're like, you're gonna take him or what? This dog does not want to come with me, and I can't see it. So they're like, come to animal control tomorrow. So me and a car full of friends go to animal control, which is in the middle of the boonies. And animal control is a hut with 3 cages, one of which has a rooster So me and my friends are looking at this dog. It is the same kind of dog, but it's not my dog.
Now, she explains at the end of this video that animal control said to her that sometimes people will dig up people's dogs to get their collars and do some kind of like data thing, but I don't really know if that's a thing. I don't know what this was. The poster says that it happened like 15 years ago, and I still am just like, was it paranormal? Like, oh, it makes my heart race. Like, was it these people trying to pull something over on her, like get money from her somehow? Like, was it a scam? What happened here?
Who did we bury? Was that my dog at the animal shelter and I just walked away from him after he found me again? And if we did bury my dog, where did the collar come from? How did it end up on this dog? There's no way that that's a thing.
All I know is that I hope her dog rests in peace and I hope she's okay. I cannot imagine how that must have stuck with her to like still tell that story 15 years later. And it is every bit as creepy, I'm sure, as the first minute she experienced it. Next up, we're gonna talk about jinns for a minute. Are you familiar with what a jinn is? Jinns come from Islamic folklore, but essentially seem to be kind of like what you and I would think of as genies in like Western countries. They roughly resemble humans, but they can also take different shapes. And the biggest thing about them is that we can't see them with our own eyes. However, this video from Hamed_12 showcases what is referred to as a real jinn.
What you see in front of you is a real jinn. Now, when I first saw this video, I was horrified. The video has almost 14 million views and people can genuinely not believe what they are seeing. Now, you're probably thinking, I swear humans can't see jinns. Well, you're correct, because no humans can see jinns in their true form. But you can see a jinn that appears in a different form. Just like Pookie over here.
Now, this got me thinking again about what I said about CERN earlier and how some people truly believe that something in our universe has gotten wonky and now we can see things like demons that we couldn't see before. However, hate to break it to you all, hate to break it to this original poster, that is not a jinn. It's actually just a Snapchat filter, apparently. It's called Zombie Child, which I think is really funny. It looks really real, to be fair. I totally would have been convinced by this video too. However, then I got curious because I'm not too familiar with jinns. Not really anyways, and I didn't know you can't really see them or anything, and I thought, well, are there other videos of supposed jinns on camera? And I found this one from lilsayah of a real jinn caught on camera, and I'm not so sure about that, but whatever this is really weird.
طقوس ايش بتعمل؟
Literally no idea at all what that thing was saying, but it looked like a plastic human. Like it looked like a human, but with like plastic over its entire being and like it was wearing a mask. This was probably some sort of hoax or internet horror story, or I really don't know, and I don't know what this person is saying in this video, but I thought it was interesting to include nonetheless. Are you familiar with jinns? Do you know anything about them? Have you ever seen one? I feel like no, because supposedly they're invisible. But now I'm really curious. I keep talking to you about this CERN comment, right? And it comes from the following video from Tom Kendall 859. Now listen, this gave me goosebumps the first time I listened to it. This man seems so freaked out by what he saw. And what he saw sounds alarmingly like a grown-up version of black-eyed children.
I'm walking down the street, walking back from the store. There's this guy probably about 15 feet behind me. And you know how you can tell someone's walking behind you? I look back, and he's just looking at me. He stops when I stop. So I walk forward a little bit. You know, I keep walking like that. And I said, man, I turn around, I go, what? What's the problem? I swear to God, on my mother's grave, this guy's eyes was jet black. Jet black. He just sit there smiling like that, man. Turn around, I ran. I come home, I'm sitting out there where my street is. Like that corner right there by that stop sign, that was standing right there, dude. Come in here, get my look out again. He's gone. That dude was not human.
He seems really shaken up in this video. I completely believe that he saw whatever it is that he says he saw, but this was the video where somebody commented about those CERN experiments and how apparently now we can see things we couldn't see before. It makes you wonder if every encounter you've ever had has been with who you think it is. This next one comes from romethedaddy and is captioned, "If my daughter is asleep in bed, who is this?" And you see that his daughter is asleep in her bed on the baby monitor, and yet she's right in front of him, like watching TV. This is probably some kind of glitch with the nanny cam or whatever, but I cannot even imagine sitting with my child, just watching TV, hanging out, getting a notification from the baby monitor, looking down and seeing that they just woke up from a nap. Like, oh, that's so creepy. The next video is from bizmanic, and they have one of the weirdest glitches I've ever heard of that all surrounds an Eggo waffle.
So the weirdest thing just happened. I'm making breakfast for my son. I put a waffle in the toaster, and my wife watched me take the waffle out of the bag, put it in the toaster, push the thing down. I go upstairs to go to the bathroom, and I get a text from her a couple minutes later saying, "Where's the waffle?" It's not there. I come back downstairs. Nothing's in the toaster. No one took the waffle. They didn't move at all from their seat where they were sitting. And I've been looking around the house for a waffle that has now disappeared. I have literally looked all over the house, and I cannot find the singular waffle. Is this just a glitch in the Matrix? Am I having more ghost stuff happen in the house? I don't know. I legit put the waffle in the toaster. I remember doing it. My wife watched me do it. I pushed the thing down, went away, came back, gone. No one moved. Has anyone lost a waffle like that before? I'm just so confused.
You guys might already know this, but over the summer, I had kind of a similar glitch in the Matrix, except it was a chicken burger that I got from Costco that mysteriously had like multiplied. Like I went back into the box of these chicken patties after I had made one, and it was fully sealed and there were none missing, and it weirded me out for like weeks. I actually like threw the rest of them away. I was so confused and weirded out. I know what it's like to know that you made something, to know you did something, to know you put the Eggo waffle in the toaster, you started making it, it just disappears. Finally, I have a really fascinating video for you from a creator that I'm new to named breathdaddy. I think that he really explains things so well. I'm like gonna binge his account after I film this because he has some really, really interesting takes on like spiritual stuff, conspiracy theories, all that. And this was one I'd never heard of and might be a little out there for some people, but stick with me through the whole video because it's weird. And it's called the prison planet theory.
I went too deep. Have you heard of the prison planet theory? Well, guess who just learned about it? Yeah. I didn't sleep last night. I did not sleep last night, and if you keep watching this, you're probably not going to sleep either. So here I am minding my own business on Reddit when I found Escaping Prison Planet. And for the next 3 hours, I dove too deep. Here's the gist of it. Essentially, we're all trapped here on Earth. We're all trapped here, and everything we know about, like all the religions that believe in reincarnation, all these different things, yeah, we keep coming back to this Earth because there are astral beings that are harvesting our energy, and they are trapping us here. Apparently these beings that are controlling us are these reptilian beings that you always hear about. Well, in Jainism and Hinduism, they have Nagas, half human, half serpent. The Aztec Empire talked about a serpent-like god that they called Quetzalcoatl. African shamans talk about the Shitari, and it is a race of reptilian beings. The Hopi Indians in North America had the Sheti, which translates to snake brothers. Chinese, Japanese, and Korean legends all talk about the Kappa. And Gnostic text, which if you don't know about the Gnostics, Gnosis just means knowledge, and basically what the Gnostics believed was after Christ died, you have to have particular knowledge that would save you. Well, the Gnostics, yeah, they believe in archons, which are parasitic entities that feed off of us.
According to this theory, that bright light that people explain having when they have a near-death experience is a trick. It's supposed to lure you into following it, coming towards it. And then these beings, these whatever they are, these entities, convince you that you have more to do on Earth, that there's more left to do, that you haven't yet reached your highest good. So you come back to Earth and they feed even more off of your energy.
So every major form of religion talks about how we have a soul. Well, we are a soul. We have a body, right? This body is essentially a rental car. And these beings, what they feed off of, what the energy they feed off of is this low vibrational energy. So whether it's stress, whether it's fear, whether it's contention, pain, grief, jealousy, rage, all of it, anxiety, that's what they feed off of. And so they manipulate and they toy with us and they do all these things to create this energy. We're just all here. Life is engineered to create this low vibrational energy. And what happens is when we die, when we go through that light tunnel, we're tricked into thinking, hey, you need to go back to Earth. There's more you need to learn, or there's karma you need to resolve, or, there's a higher purpose that you need to do. And we come back and it's the same thing.
I'm a pretty spiritual gal myself. I definitely don't think that's all there is to the afterlife. I don't think I would have had half the paranormal experiences I've had if that's really all there was, because in that case, like, our energies wouldn't linger. We would just constantly be reincarnating and like coming back to do more things and have more energy for these great almighty beings to feast on, or whatever. That sounds so crazy. But I still think it's an interesting theory. And honestly, this creator kind of sold me on it for a second, so I thought I would include it for all of you too. Do you think there's anything to the prison planet theory? Let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. A special thank you to my subscribers who are members of the channel. If you want to join the channel memberships and get extra members exclusive content, like members only perks, polls to help me decide on future video topics, my love bug tier gets a weekly podcast, and so much more, you can click that little join button somewhere around the screen. We would love to have you. An extra special thank you to my VIP loves for their continued and generous support of the channel. I love and appreciate you all very, very much. I love you all very much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.